Hey guys, it's Ann here. Today we're going to make just a simple ring band. And there's a new way I started doing it that I like the join better. You know, the join it's got to be nice and secure so that it doesn't come loose when the clay shrinks, when it's drying and when it's firing. But you also want it to look good on a smooth ring. You want it to be smooth on a textured ring. You want the texture to kind of line up, and you don't want a big line right in the middle. So there's a new way that I've kind of started doing it, and it's kind of a idea that came to me seeing a bunch of different ways that artists do it, because there's a whole bunch of different ways you can do it. And what I have here is just a homemade texture plate that I made off of some wire that I liked. And so I'm gonna roll me a little snake here. And I always like to do my ring bands at least 4 carats thick. And this bronze is so sturdy and thick that if you make it much bigger than that, you have a very thick ring shank, which is okay, that's what you want. But I don't want this to be too thick. So I rolled it out of 5, and I'm going to knock it down to a 4. I always manage to get a fingernail let's see. You can see that on the camera. There we go. So I've taken my clay that I rolled down to 5, and I need something to and I'm just going to take my roller and gently go over Okay, so we have our snake cut out here, and it's textured in our homemade mold. We use this one at the bottom. Now, I'm using Goldie Hard Bronze. I'm trying it out. And what I did was I added a little, couple of drops of Flex glycerin to it, because I'm going to dry it straight like this before I put it on my cutting clay ring mold, size 7.5. So let's give it a go. I'm going to put it in the dehydrator on about 130 for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back. Okay, so now we have our metal clay ring band that we've made from our silicone mold. And what I want to do now is very carefully, I want to check out the length to see. This is a size 7.5. And what I want is to take about 1/8 of an inch overlap. So see, I cut it right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little palette knife, put a little water on it, and I'm going to squash down this end. Don't want to make a big pancake out of it, but I definitely want it to be flat. And then I'm going to put a little additional water on it. And I'm going to take my top and overlap it and press down. For about 4 or 5 seconds. Then I'm going to take my blade and just straighten everything out, because if it dries crooked, it'll be crooked. Make sure I didn't tear it, which I have done before. And see, even now, it's hard to see where our seam is. But we do have, let's see, where is it? Here it is. It's a little bit fat at the bottom. I'm going to make sure that we push that in. We can always sand it off later, but and often I'll even draw a line down the middle of my silicone tape or my sticky note here, so that I have a guide onto which to make sure this ring is straight. Okay. And I'm telling you, you cannot hardly tell where that joint is. What I'm going to do though is take my, where's my water brush? And I'm gonna put a little bit more water on there and on the sides. And I'm going to put it to dry. And once it's dry, we're going to slide it off. And then we are going to reinforce the inside of the band and dry it. And then we'll have a nice decorative, seamless appearing band. So I'll come back after it's dry and show you. Okay, so we have our ring band here. Textured all the way around. Can you tell where the seam is? I can a little bit. But it's pretty good. It needs a little bit of sanding. Here we go. There is one area that I think you can tell, but I don't want to sand it too much because that's going to be a dead giveaway of where the seam is. The good thing about a highly textured band like this is it would be hard to see exactly where the seam is anyway. I'm going to deepen this little texture point right here to cover it even more. Then on the inside of the band, what I really like to do is take these wet wipes You can use the alcohol ones, which dry really fast and don't put much moisture on your ring at all. Or these are just water wipes. They're real inexpensive. And what they do is smooth out the inside of the ring, kind of make their own slip. And so when the ring dries, you have a nice smooth interior. See, there's a little divot right there. I took it right out. Instead of sanding on a small, delicate ring like this, because it can break easily. And then it's thin already, so you don't want to take much material out of it, because then it'll be super thin. All right, so there's our ring. I'm going to put it to fire. This is Goldie Hard bronze. In my kiln, I ramp at 752 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. And I use a ramp of 1526. And then after that, I cover it in charcoal, about an inch and a half of charcoal. And in my kiln, 1545 for something this little, about an hour will do. If you had something bigger, you would want to go an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that's it for a small, rather seamless ring. Thanks for watching. See you next time.